I know I'm a guy, so bear with me. Have you ever given a condom to a woman you didn't know? Okay. That's like giving a quote or an estimate to a customer you don't know. Same analogy, same metaphor. I wouldn't hand a woman a condom that I didn't know. But I definitely wouldn't hand a quote to a customer I didn't know. There's two things that I find important: my wallet and my bedroom, and I want to know who's going in both. I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. This one's just about me. I'll see you on the backside. This is what my nose looks like after a night of drinking. Hi, I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. I'm going to give you some sales tips today. Timology, sales tips number 28. I think sales is one of the hardest jobs that you could ever do. And the more prepared you are, the better you're going to be at it. There's nothing spontaneous about being in front of a client. Everything has to be rehearsed, and you have to be prepared for the worst. And pray for the best. And when you're talking with a client on the phone, live one-on-one with a customer, whether it's about a quote or you're just doing a straight-out cold call with a guy and you've never met him before in your life, you got to have a goal for each verbal interaction with your client. These verbal interactions are going to define your relationship with him over the next year. You know, I have a certain goal with my clients, and one is to make sure I always have a clear, articulate message. Representing the corporation. In our corporation, having fun, giggling, doing stupid podcasts is really important. Trusting. I need to make sure people trust me. Easygoing disposition. I know that we're willing to move and mold to the situation and show that we're here to help, not to sell. We don't sell, we help. And we also have to go in with the right intention that we're looking to become better at servicing our clients. Each client is really specific and individual, and if you don't understand that you need to become better at servicing them by learning about them, you won't get any farther ahead. And most of all, I want to become part of their arsenal of trades they can use 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I need to do that through the trust. Now, knowing the goal when you meet the customer is really important before you go into your customer's office, not after. You can't go in with a goal to take their money. Remember that. So you can't go into the client thinking you're going to take their cash. You got to go in thinking you're going to help them. With that in mind, you have to ask yourself, when I go in with a client, what resistance or challenges or obstacles are the clients going to throw at me when I walk in? By the way, they want to do this to you because they want to knock you off your game and see if you're full of bullshit or not. So you got to predetermine these obstacles and challenges and what you're going to have to say. I created a list of negative energy comments that my clients would say to me. I've heard these for 32 years. And then I'm now taking those comments and I prepare to overcome them with positive energy questions as a rebuttal to their off-the-cuff comments to shut me down and knock me off my game. I need to be prepared for these comments, and I'm sure you'll have your own version of what your client throws at you and knocks you off your game. But my list is a pretty good start. I think there's about 18 of them. So the first one is, who are you? I think that's an awkward one because I can turn into a salesman real quick. Number 2, why are you calling me? That's independent for who you are. And boy, I can't tell them I want them to buy shit from me because then I'm going to go down like a sack of wet cement. Number 3, I call them about a quote and they say, I gave the job to someone else already. Number 4, what quote? I never got it. I don't even remember doing the quote with you. Number 5, I don't remember. Blanket, that's awful. Number 6, you're too expensive. That should be my number 1. I hear that all the time. Number 7, we're not doing the job. Number 8, I never liked you guys anyway. The last time I used you sucked. Number 9, my last sales rep never got back to me. Number 10, I never got the quote. Number 12, I couldn't understand your quote. It didn't make sense. Number 13, we sold the building. Love that. I go in to sell the guy and he's like, I'm out of here. Number 14, I feel like you're always nickel and diming me to death. Number 15, the other guy that I got the quote from was so much cheaper than you. Number 16, the person you're looking for does not work here anymore. Actually, once upon a time, I got a guy that told me that he died. That was an awful experience. I didn't know what to say. Number 18, no one ever calls me back from your company. Now, those are my 18 top things my clients have said to me that I have to have a pre-prepared rebuttal for them. Your new customers always, or any customer, says these things to shut you down, test you on your articulation of your response, and to see if he can trust you. And you have to be ready with a rebuttal that sounds intelligent and rationalized, and you can say it with confidence. Now, each one of these negative statements has to have a prepared response. Now, the prepared response is really, really important at this moment. It needs to be in the form of a question, not a statement. All questions create dialogue. All statements end dialogue and put a fight or flight instinct in place. And you have to have these created in advance. Now, if you create these in advance and you give a question, a multiple choice question, it'll create dialogue, an opportunity to advance your relationship and create trust via that question. You want to sound positive, inquisitive, rather than negative and paranoid. Uncertainty. It'll destroy your credibility and trust before you get going. You cannot have uncertainty in your questioning back to your client based off those 18 shitty responses. Now, the questions you create must be orientated in multiple choice, and I'm going to explain that why, and I'm going to try to do it as fast as possible. If I went home to my wife right now and said, "What do you want for dinner?" she's going to say to me, "I don't know." If I go home to my wife and say, "Do you want to go to the keg, get submarine sandwiches, or make dinner and sit in front of the TV?" she's most likely going to give me one of those answers, which then I can control the next question I'm going to give her. Now, there is a small chance she may say, "I don't know" still, but the truth is I've orientated them to have a 75% chance she's going to pick one of the responses I offered. Now, you may want to set up yourself in your head for those 18 or 19 or 20 negative things that you know, 6, 12, 15 different options that you can pick 3 of based off the situation that you're in, the gender of your client, the age, the position they hold, or the time allowed, because you're always trying to buy time. And here's the tough part. You got to memorize those options to those comments so that your question sounds spontaneously intelligent, rationalized, and confident, or else you're going to lose them because they're going to think that you're bullshitting them. If you can do that in an intelligent, rationalized, confident way, you're going to create more dialogue. Having that said, you're going to have a conversation that will continue the relationship and take you beyond the 1, 2, 3 minute mark and start engaging a client in a like-mindedness, social engineering an outcome of opportunity to continue your company's interrelationship with this new person. Listen, as a salesperson, you can never go, hesitate, blink. You can't say, "I don't know." You can't say, "I'll get back to you." You can't say, "I hope," and "I can't." You got to be prepared. Being prepared is a necessity for a positive outcome. Now, the real question is, you as a salesperson, are you prepared? You got to laugh too, right? That multiple choice question thing is a big deal. If you ever just say to your client, "Do you want a quote?" They're going to say no, or yes, it's a fight or flight situation. I think that is really important to remember. If you ever say to your client, "How was my price?" he's going to say it was too expensive. If you ever say to your client, what number do I need to come in at to get this job? He's going to tell you need to be the cheapest guy. When your client says to you, "My last sales guy never called me back," I think it's really, really important at that time to go, "Okay, listen, let's not ever let that happen again. I'm going to give you my cell phone number. I'm going to give you my general manager's phone number, and I'm going to give you the 24-hour call center number. All 3 of those are live answers 24 hours, 7 days a week, and those give you an opportunity to make sure that there's never a hole in the system. And I'll be honest, I never want you to feel like you can never call me. I don't care if it's Friday night at 9 o'clock at night or it's Monday at 6 in the morning. You call me if you have a challenge or you can't overcome something, and I promise I will answer the phone. And if I don't, I promise there'll be an alternate phone number there for you to call." Always wear clean underwear. Clean underwear is super important. Look at my size of my haggis. I got a huge haggis. We're going to boil the haggis, and then we're going to lick it, and then we're going to touch it. I like haggis. It looks like a dirty sock full of other dirty socks. That's haggis. Penis. Haggis and penis. Penis and haggis. Haggis and penis. All right, I'm going to try this again. I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, the penis enlargement sites, Viagra.com, JohnHolmes.com, Pornhub. Because number one thing in my life, if we're not having fun every day at work, there's no use going to work. I got to love coming to work on Mondays as much as I love going home on Fridays, or I ain't coming. And I'm going to tell you right now, quit your fucking job if you're not happy on Monday. If you got a bitch about going to work on Monday, you got a problem. That, if you eat hummus. I think hummus is a big problem. Universally, I think hummus causes a lot of digestive challenges. And it's like secondhand smoke. It can kill you. Yeah, bobblehead. I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. Then everybody be in love with me. Watch me put the microphone into my mouth. When I was 7 years old, and I was sitting in front of the TV watching cartoons, and my mother used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning with my dad and see him off to work, and I get off the kindergarten school bus at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'd be watching cartoons, and I love Cheese Whiz, and I still like Cheese Whiz today. So I used to get off the school bus, and I used to break out the bacon dipper crackers. Does everyone remember the bacon dippers? And I used to get Cheese Whiz. And I'd sit in front of the TV, and around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, my mom, because she was up at 5 or 4 a.m. with my dad, she would like to have a little nap before my older siblings got home at 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So she would nap on the couch, and I would slowly slip off her shoes. And while I was eating the bacon dippers and with putting gobs of Cheese Whiz, which I really love Cheese Whiz, I would wedge Cheese Whiz between her toes. And then I would call my black lab Bumper. That was the name of my dog. I would call my black lab over and let the black lab lick the Cheese Whiz between my mom's toes out. And my mom would lie on the couch going, hee, hee, hee. And the dog would be pigging out in her feet for like a half an hour, but it was like I'd eat a cracker. And then gob some between my mom's toes, and then my mom would giggle. And this is when I do this like day after day to my mother, but her feet were spotless. Feeling woo feelings. Am I being recorded? Damn it. Hey. Feelings. McBeal. You know what I really love? Where's my guy? This is my favorite thing in the whole world. I just did Tinker in the morning.
There you go.
Everybody needs a goat. It's the goat app. Can you see that?
Right here. Closer.
Goat app. That's Kevin. It's funny. We talk about qualifying our client, and we do it way too. We have this certain criteria, what they're going to spend, what they can do, what they can't do. And I think the very first thing to determine about a client is, and this is before you know their name, this is before you know anything about them, their wife, their kid, what they're doing. You need to know if they're shopping. You need to know if they're buying. Or you need to know if you're selling. And I don't mean selling your product or your services. I mean selling you as a person so they can trust you. And I think if you don't know whether they're buying, selling, or shopping before you start, I don't think you can get to the punchline, which is get a purchase order, unless you know if they're buying, shopping, or selling. Now, all three are great, but all three have a different social engineering science behind it, psychological science behind each one of those. Because if you're just shopping, I want to help you shop. If I got to sell you me, I want to make this a personal, intimate conversation about me. And if you're buying, then I want to head to the punchline and set up service crews and make sure that I can execute your job for you as quickly as possible. Often salespeople like to jump to the buying thing, even though your client is in, I want to get to know you better, the selling mode. And selling is not selling the company, selling you. Or they're in the shopping mode. They just want to hear a whole bunch of shit and figure out what's going on. So saying that, I think you need to come up with a definition of what you consider a shopping client, what you consider a selling client. And I don't mean selling your company again. I use the word selling like you, selling you, who you are, what you are. And then you have to figure out if your client's buying. Each one of those three things has a set amount of time that you would allocate to that. So if you know they're shopping, I can allocate a certain amount of time and my energy in which direction I'm going to take that opportunity in comparison to somebody who's buying, and I'm going to accelerate the process. In comparison to somebody who just wants to get to know me better, I'm selling them. I'm becoming like-minded, and I want to fit in with their world. And if until you know which one you're doing, you can't actually advance forward. And a lot of sales reps go in and they want to just sell. And then what I mean by that definition is they actually just want to push a product down the throat, get a quote in their hands, see if they want to buy. Oh, let's do a little goat action. Yeah, I know. Damn it. No, you can keep it going. It's good. Sorry, I had to shut off my phone. I try to answer my phone 24 hours to 7 days a week, and I try to pick up the phone no matter what. I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. You can get me on Pornhub, LinkedIn, Instagram, WhatsApp, and of course, Tim Hortons. I'll see you for the next sales tip.
Oh, sales is really hard. Much harder, psychologically hard. Positive, negative energy being given away at random, people treating you like shit. Customers think you're scumbags of the earth. And then there's the sales guy who doesn't really want to be a sales guy, but wants to be a sales guy. What do I mean? Real salespeople take commissions and have unlimited potential for unlimited amount of income. Fake salespeople take salaries because they're too scared to fail on their own. Real salespeople are okay with failure. They're okay with fucking up and making mistakes. They're okay with losing money and making money. Don't hand condoms to women you don't know. Don't work for people you don't know. It's a real good rule, eh? I get general contractors that call me every day and go, hey, I need you to price a job. And if you get this one and you price it right, we got lots more where this came from. Okay, just so everybody knows, it's not a race to the bottom. Huh? We're not trying to be the lowest price. We're trying to be the right price. Make some markup, nice 10, 15 points, maybe even 20 if we get a chance. We can all lie to ourselves and say we're trying to nickel and dime. And these guys that go, show me how much you're making. Oh my God. Don't be an asshole. We're allowed to make as much as we can. That's the job. Okay, for contractors that don't want to meet you, don't price work. So every time a contractor calls me up and says, hey, Tim, I want you to quote a job, I go, do I know you? And they go, no, we haven't done business yet. And I went, well, I tell you what, I need to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with you, one of them, and I need to break bread with you so that I can tender. And they go, oh, I don't have time for that. And I go, well, if you don't have time to have break bread with me, if you don't have time to have lunch with me, how do I have time to spend 4 or 5 hours looking at your job? If you don't care about me, I'm not getting in bed with you, and I'm not going to do all this hard work for you, only to have you tell me that my price was too expensive. And I'd rather know who you are. I want to know who I'm about to go to bed with. I don't give condoms out to strangers. I don't give quotes to companies I don't know. I'm Tim Byrne. I sound like my son. I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. I am your Wednesday night drive home. I'm any night drive home. You find me on LinkedIn, and if you need help selling, you want to train your staff, you want to learn the real skills that you need to make things happen, you feel free to call me at 416-984-9045. I do workshops at my offices in Ottawa, Toronto, and Orillia, and I'll do workshops at your place. Remember, fear is an option, and you should choose it. Stick your head above the foxhole, be scared, because then you'll get a Purple Heart and be a hero. Good night.